This story is designed to help you to relax. You should be in a comfortable and safe space when you listen. If you like the story, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Lisi Cocina. Before you listen, we should take some deep breaths. Really feel the air going in and out of your body. Inhale through your nose. Hold it. Exhale through your mouth. Put all of the day's events and worries in a closet in your brain. Close the imaginary door. Those worries will all be there tomorrow. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Open your mind to your imagination. Picture yourself ascending stairs, one breath at a time. As you ascend the stairs, keep relaxing. By the time we're at the top of the stairs, you should be completely relaxed and ready for the story. Let's start at the bottom of the stairs. Deep breath. Hold it. Exhale. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Next step. Breathe in. Hold it. Breathe out. Feel your weight on the bed. Continue to find the places in your face, your scalp, your neck, your chest that are still not completely relaxed. Feel the warmth of the calming energy collecting all the tension in your body. My name is Maria Carmen Esposito Valdez. I live in Houston, and the story I'm sharing today happened to me in the 5th grade. That spring, I received both an email and a letter attached to the foot of an owl from a school in Massachusetts. The name was something I've never seen before, and I was not sure if I was pronouncing it correctly. It said it was a boarding school, and it was located on the top of Mount Greylock in Massachusetts. The writer, Assistant Principal Calderon Boot, said that they wanted me to come to school in the fall. I replied to the first email with my own email a couple of days later. I typed the following words. I am Maria Carmen Esposito Valdez. I'm in the 5th grade. I live in Houston, Texas. I want to go to your school, but I need help. Just those words. I pressed send and laughed a little. I was probably sending a message to somebody who was playing a trick on me. They had a trained owl that was part of the joke. I decided that if someone answered, then fine. But I was not going to hold my breath. I would put it out of my mind. Things like emails from fancy schools in Massachusetts don't come to little girls who were left at a fire station, wrapped in a towel, just hours after they were born. They didn't come to foster care kids. You see, I lived in a home with other girls in foster care, although all my foster sisters were older than me. While none of them were outright mean, and my foster mama and daddy were all right, We all knew that we were different. We didn't have what other kids had, like parents who were always there, taking an interest in us and what we were doing, encouraging us, helping us through tough spots. We knew that we were pretty much on our own. On that Friday morning, I pulled on my uniform shirt and khaki pants, tied my shoes, and went out into the pre-dawn darkness to the empty lot about 4 blocks from my house. That is where the school bus picked me up at about 6:45. I had my backpack with my school laptop, and I walked towards the lot. I wasn't scared to be alone. I wasn't scared of the darkness in the last hour before the sun came up. I liked the cool air. I liked the sound of insects. I heard the sound of my own feet on the asphalt, marching in a rhythm. I arrived at my spot and noticed how few cars were passing by this morning. It was unusually quiet. I noticed that I was alone at the stop. The other kids who usually waited for me weren't there. I readjusted my pack on my back and stared down the road, expecting to see the twin headlights of the yellow school bus glaring at me at any minute. I heard a popping sound behind me. It seemed to be coming from the empty lot, overgrown with tall grasses, littered with car tires and other junk. I saw movement. My stomach flipped a bit. Was that a dog? It seemed to come to my shoulder, whatever it was. Now I heard its footsteps. It was tromping through the grass, and I heard muttering. I thought it must be a homeless person, maybe someone who had slept in the tall grass overnight and was just now getting up. Its muttering had a distinctly grumpy sound, and it sounded like a man. While I had never had any bad experiences with a homeless person or the people in my neighborhood who sometimes spoke to themselves, my body stiffened. Just because I had never been bothered by someone who seemed to be homeless didn't mean that there would not be a first time this morning. My feet prepared to run and run hard. My thumbs hooked into the backpack loops so that if I did have to run, it would stay on my back. But for the moment, I remained still as the form of the person neared. Maybe they meant no harm. Maybe they had not noticed me at all. As the man appeared, his face resolved. He had a long nose. For a moment, I thought his eyes were gleaming like a cat's in the darkness. In the next moment, I convinced myself I had imagined it. He was quite small, coming up to my shoulder or just to my chin. He had on an enormous gray hoodie, zipped up in the front and brought down low over his eyes. The bottom of the hoodie reached his knees. The hoodie covered his head and back, which was quite stooped and rounded. He was walking through the tall grass with heavy steps, his long arms swaying. He was coming right towards me. I was getting more and more nervous. I looked up the road to see if the bus was coming. No sign of the lights. I began to walk away from my stop. Somehow, I thought that if I ran, he might become agitated or upset and start running after me. I decided that walking briskly towards home was the best decision. Walking as if I had just got off the bus, and I was on my way home, where people were waiting for me and would notice I was gone. as if the sight of a small, crooked-backed man walking up in an empty lot was something that was normal, and I had not noticed anything unusual at all. That's it. Just pretend this is all normal. Nothing to see here.
Maria Carmen, is that your name?
He croaked.
Just a minute, girl. Are you Maria Carmen Esposito Valdez?
You wrote to Miss Calderon Boot?
Hey, would you stop and listen?
I froze. Did this man just say my name? Had he really said Miss Calderon Boot? Was I dreaming? I slowly turned around. I could see him more clearly now in the streetlight. I could see his arms seemed to be unusually long, and his shoulders were bunched around his neck. His back seemed even more curved close up. He wore shoes that seemed quite large for such a small man. Sir, did you say my name?
My name isn't Sir. You can call me Bog.
If you are, he drew a crumpled paper from his pocket,
Maria Carmen Esposito Valdez, then yes, I said your name. Is that you or not?
Yes, that's my name.
Well, you asked for help, and I'm here to help. You're on the list for Ilvermorny for the fall, and you wrote you needed help preparing. Miss Calderon Boot sent me.
What kind of help can you give me? Wait, is this more of the practical joke? Are you making fun of me? Am I being pranked? I looked around for a camera crew, half expecting someone to emerge from behind a tree or from the ditch next to the lot that fills when it rains.
I have no idea what you are rabbiting on about. I don't have a lot of time for nonsense. I'm here to collect you and collect your things for Ilvermorny. It's no quill off my back if you accept the help or not. I have plenty to do at Ilvermorny. I have the owl roost to clean, the garden needs weeding, the windows need washing, there are loads of laundry, the brass needs polishing, the steps need repairing. Mr. Bog, I want to go. But you should know, I have no money to go to the school. I have no money to buy the bathrobes. I have no money to buy a cauldron. I have no money to buy a wand. I don't even have the clothes you guys asked for, like an extra pair of shoes or 3 pairs of school pants. Bathrobes? What are you going on about?
The cranberry and blue robes? Mr. Bog rolled himself into a ball, crouching on the ground. He was emitting a strange sound, almost like a bark. I stepped back, but I realized that he was laughing.
Those aren't bathrooms, girl. They're school robes. Ilvermorny has been around since the 17th century. It has traditions. And one of the traditions is that you wear robes to school, over your school clothes. I'll show you when we get to New Orleans. That's where we can buy everything you need. But I don't have all day to discuss this. We need to roll. New Orleans? Look, you're gonna have to talk to my foster mom. I can't just go to New Orleans with some man I don't know. He made a sigh of exasperation. I've already charmed her, silly girl. She doesn't expect you back until Sunday evening. It's all arranged. If we get started now, I can have you back earlier than Sunday evening, and I can get back to Mount Greylock, and I can go back to my to-do list, which I can assure you is very, very long. I don't have a lot of time for argumentative girls. I looked up the street again to see if the lights were coming. Still no bus. I stared at Mr. Bog. I stared at my feet.
I thought about whether I should believe this man. Suddenly, my phone rang. I jumped. My old cell phone had no service and was not even charged. I kept it in my backpack, but it was just dead weight. How could it be ringing? I fished the phone from my pack. It was on all right. I swiped and I said, hello? Good morning. This is Assistant Principal Calderon Boot with Ilvermorny. Maria Carmen, is that you? Yes. I sent Mr. Bog down to Houston to help you. You should be with him now. You can trust him. He says he charmed my foster mom so that she won't worry? That's right. It's up to you whether you go. But Mr. Bog is there to help you with your things for Ilvermorny. Houston does not have a wand maker, so he's taking you to the closest place that does, which is New Orleans, Louisiana. Would you like to go with him? Whether you come to the school and whether you accompany him are your decisions, but I can promise you you'll be safe. Well, I would like to see your school, and I do need help. I looked into Mr. Boggs' eyes to see if he was a good person, someone I could trust. He gazed right back, and somehow my nervousness faded. Okay, let's go.